Anyway, all right. Here we go. That's not what I want. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday with us on Numbers in You. As you know, I'm new to this. Okay, I'm getting better and better at it. Boy, do I have the most wonderful, wonderful surprise for you. Well, it's not a surprise because I've been putting everything, as y'all now say, on blast, whatever that's supposed to mean. Okay, I'm trying to keep up with this new term that everybody's using. But first of all, thank you very much for joining us this Wednesday, October the 13th. 2021 on Live with Lloyd, where the joy of numerology is the joy of learning and enlightenment. And the guest that I'm going to be presenting in just a couple of moments speak about enlightenment. Couldn't have picked a better person for tonight's show. I want to let you know cosmically, the sun is in Libra. The moon went into Aquarius this afternoon, my sign, and anybody who's born on the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st, because the numbers are also governed by the planets and governs that sign. Mercury's in retrograde still until Monday the 18th. So if things have been out of whack, are crazy, or people have not been on the same page, this will explain some of it. And I want to announce, please, because I'm going to get the announcements out the way, because I want to give this entire show to my very special guest that's coming on in a moment. Please pick up the free monthly newsletter that you can get from my website, lloyd-strayhorn.com, or my partner, KayaFrench.com. And also, my online course is on sale. As you know, it's in 65 countries. I now have 2,600 students in 23 languages, which shows the universal influence of numbers. And I would like to introduce, without further ado, somebody I have known for quite some time, okay? And it is Sister, or I should say, excuse me, for me, it's Iyanla, but for people who may not know, it is the Reverend Dr. Iyanla Vanzant. Iyanla, how are you, dear?
I'm good. How are you? I'm trying to get into my 9 year.
But you know I'm gonna be reading you because you're all right with me, you know?
Yeah, I remember you said, whatever I desire. So I've been really trying to empty out and clear out so that I can ask for what I really desire. I'm almost scared to think about anything because I don't want it to come into fruition.
Well, there's some new things underway for you, so we'll talk. But let me say this: I got so many people. I promise just a select few. Well, I just randomly picked some names that people said hello. Jennifer Kirkland from Queens, Nikki Monty from Atlanta, Kira Winters from Philly, Kaya French from Detroit, Jackie Levine from Brooklyn, Kalia Martin from the Bronx, and also a personal note from Hung Ju Kim in California. And this is what she says. She says that greetings, and she's referred to you as, she says, can you please relay to Queen Mother that Han Ju Kim, a psychotherapist, offers her greeting, and that she is the greatest, she is my greatest teacher personally and also professionally. She said that her psychotherapist clinical skills exponentially have transformed due to her hearing you and learning from you. And she just said thank you. So isn't that a good
thing? Thank God. What a wonderful thing. Yes. We need conscious people doing this powerful mental health work.
Let me tell you, and and by the way, it's interesting because I thought it was all women. You told me men. Cayman Kelly told me to tell you hi.
Okay, I see one of my men here, Fanye, my spiritual warrior, deep bow warrior.
Yep, and also Brother King Simon, a very spiritual brother too. Also said hi. What's interesting? We said something before we started that I talked about all the women, and you said no, it's not for the women, it's for the men. Yet the men don't come forward like the women. Why is that, you think?
Well, I don't know if it's that they don't come forward. I think they're quiet.
Very quiet. Very.
the thread. But women take up so much space, and that's why so many
Really?
of us are single. We take up so much space. We're talking, we're yapping. We really, men have to kind of slide in. They
And you
want to
like to
move
do that.
slow, so they just kind of slide in. But we take up so much space. So, I've made a conscious effort to let brothers know, men know, when I say brothers, I just mean men.
Men, yes,
That they're
understood.
welcome. And you help me with this, Lloyd, because you're a man. And I
Mhm.
know for my son, for my grandson, no one really has taught men how to be in a space like this, how to talk about your feelings, how to ask questions without feeling stupid or inadequate.
Yeah.
Men don't know how to do that. So we try to make the space as open and welcoming as possible so that they feel comfortable and confident. And the other thing is, I think men are trained to be doers, doers,
Mhm.
doer. And
Mhm.
so this whole concept of being and becoming is very new to them. And I don't think the brain is computing it yet.
Well, let me fill in some of the blanks with that. Men are taught among men that you got to be strong. You can't cry. You can't show feelings. And men get the feeling that if they show emotions in front of a woman will misinterpret us as being weak, which
Yeah.
is the last thing. We have feelings too. We
Yeah.
men get into our feelings too. And I try to explain that to women.
Well,
Okay.
look at a basketball game. They in their feelings.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
or,
And and the thing is supposedly that all women really want an alpha man, but not every man is an alpha, but it doesn't take away from his manliness if you give us a chance. And so we feel that if we have a moment where we tear or express a sincere emotion and that therefore see he's not as strong and whatnot. So we're kind of in that dilemma. But I try to explain to men that when you women get upset, y'all throw dishes against the wall, okay? Y'all are shout to the rafters and get all into it. But see, we men got to always be cool, calm, and collected. And I
well,
tell men it's like a pressure cooker. If we
yeah.
don't let off the steam, this is why we fall out from strokes and
Mhm.
heart attacks and all these other things. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not really letting off steam. So somehow, some way, and men have to understand that it's okay to share a tear or cry in front of a woman. And for women to understand that does not make us weak because we do, but that is how we interpret it. So we got to always be strong. And I
Well,
just think it's unfair.
I think that, I've been telling all of my students and anybody who will listen, this is some new level stuff going on.
Yeah, there's
Creator
no
is doing
question.
a whole new thing. And what I noticed about 3 or 4 years ago is this whole concept of alpha male, aggressive male is really under attack. And that's why so many men, younger and younger, are being diagnosed with prostate cancer because this
Really?
manhood concept is really under attack. That has to shift. Your manhood doesn't live from the waist down. Your
Yeah,
manhood
thank you.
lives right in the center of your chest. So many men, I mean, I get letters, at least 2, 3 dozen letters a week of men, 35, 40, 45, being diagnosed with prostate cancer or ED. That's the other thing, it may
Yeah,
not be
erectile
disease,
dysfunction. I've heard of that too. I've
yeah,
heard of that too. And I'm saying, what?
because this
Okay.
concept of manhood has to shift the same way the concept of womanhood has to shift. I've been saying to women for years and make getting a lot of heat about it. We out of order as women. We are so out of order.
What do you mean?
I mean that we are really men in skirts.
Wow,
We don't
no
even have
kidding.
a concept of what it means to be a woman because of course no one's taught us. No heat, no judgment. I'm not beating us up, but I'm
Sure,
saying you
sure.
got to be open to a new way of doing. And what women want to say is, well, yeah, but he ain't here. I got to raise the kids. I got to do that. And he ain't. And they, no, 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 no. It's not from without within. It's from within out.
With yes, exactly,
Within
exactly.
out. And so many of us are holding so much discord and in disharmony and bitterness and anger and unforgiveness inside till what's coming out is we're men. We're aggressive, we're competitive, we don't know how to nurture ourselves. We don't nurture ourselves. We don't hold ourselves, because the biggest gift that a woman has, I believe, this is all according to Iyanla, pay me no mind.
I know that's right.
I've learned in my 69 years,
Get
the
out of
biggest
here.
gift I have is silence.
Repeat what you did. Say that
I
again.
said the biggest gift, my deepest power, my greatest gift is silence. Silence.
Silence.
Let me shut my mouth and listen. Let me stop going out and reach in. And I've noticed, like, even with my children or my grandchildren, when they do something that's makes me unhappy, I just get quiet. Know what? They will go crazy. What's the matter, yeah? What happened? What's the matter?
Interesting.
Say something.
So silence is just as effective as loud noise. That's what you're saying.
God works through silence. That's a book that I'm reading with my group on the Spiritual Study Sanctuary. God works through silence. In the womb, it's silent.
Yeah, certainly is.
Pumping of your blood through the more than 30,000 veins and vessels in your body is silent. You get a thought or an idea that takes you into a new business, a new relationship, and it's silent. We as women talk too much. We can't hear within because we're so busy speaking without.
Why is that though, Iyanla, you think?
Because we become men. Men, externally referenced. And when I say men, externally referenced, I'm talking now really about the gender distinction. You
Sure,
know,
sure.
men are externally referenced. They have Mr. Man and his two brothers, right? That's where
Hmm.
you all go out. And women have the womb, and our ovaries and our tubes and are in. But we spend so much time out, whether it's the makeup, the nails, the boobs, the butt, the talking, the dancing. Ooh, and so we just don't know how to get still so that God can impregnate us with divine energy,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that we can bring forth new life, be it a book or a business, or most women can't find relationships because they're so busy looking instead of going within and creating it.
And kind of magnetizing it to them. That's what
Yes,
you're saying.
you know what I'm talking about.
Of course I do. Iyanla. But
Yeah.
but it seems so incredibly simple, but yet you're right. I mean, women seem to be nowadays in ways that I don't understand. I don't know whether that's because of the images. For example, they have these what they call these things, reality shows, which are so far away
Wait a
from
minute. I have
reality.
a reality show. Wait a minute.
No, no, but yours is about reality though. Let's keep it real though. See, you keep it real though, Iyanla. I'm talking about some that's totally not real at all.
But
So
that's how we're educated, Lloyd. We are educated, all of us, men, women, black, white, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. We're educated to be externally referenced. Here's how I tell that story, and I remember it. When I was in school, you
mhm.
know, I don't care how hard you write. You remember you had the paper with the lines, and then you had to make your letters small, or
Yeah, that's right.
and you had to make your strokes and all of that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I went into education, because my first degree was early childhood education. So,
Uh-huh.
and I don't care how how hard I worked, or did it. I had a little bit above the line or a little bit under the line, or my lines was a little crooked, and so I would get a blue star or a green star, or sometimes a silver star if I really focused and bled. So
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
means that somebody outside of me was telling me that my best effort was only worth blue or green, not gold, not gold. And my quest became to get a gold star. I still write like I'm a kindergarten teacher with the strokes, and everything. So from the time we go into the system of education, and education, from the greatest Cometian civilizations, doesn't mean to put in, it means to draw out.
Hmm. Hmm.
Education means to take the action required to bring forward. But this educational system puts in, and then we're supposed to regurgitate it. And then someone gets to evaluate, assess, and judge whether or not the way we brought it forward is acceptable. No, 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 no. That's not education. That's programming. So as women, we've been programmed to seek external validation. All of us have, but really for us, it's so against our nature. So you got to do it this way to get an A, and this way to be accepted, and this way to be loved, and this way. So we're trained to be externally referenced, when as feminine expressions of God, our power is internal. It's not external.
But
So
that makes all the sense in the world to me. I don't understand,
who's teaching it, Lloyd? Who's teaching it? Who's saying to women? I said to women a couple of months ago, shut your mouth and close your legs. And it took off on Facebook like
I know it did. You cannot break the formula.
Yeah, close them right now. Okay, because we're so busy giving ourselves away until there's nothing left for us.
Yeah.
Nothing left for us. So we don't get to sit in that silence. We don't get to grow in our power. We don't get to trust our intuition. We don't get to hear our instincts. We don't get to hear God speaking to us. God, Goddess, Source, Creator, Allah, Buddha, it doesn't matter to me, whatever you call it. But we don't get to do that because we're so busy out here. I realized I left Fix My Life in November of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't worked since then.
Really?
Mm-mm. And I haven't missed a meal or a mortgage payment or anything else. I buy my quilting fabrics like I ain't got no darn sense.
Yeah. Listen, you got to have a passion, okay?
I have my Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars.
Me too. Yeah.
So not because I had a big nest egg, but because God will supply if you focus on God more than you focus on what you don't have. And that's what we're saying.
And I think because we focus on what we don't have, it puts unnecessary pressure. For example, majority of my clients are women, right? So a woman will say, I'm 35 going on 40. Well, what happened to 36 and 37 and 38, 39? Because from my mind as a male, I'm saying, is that why women are under pressure? Girl, when you're going to get married? Girl, when you're going to have them babies? Girl, when you're going to do this? Not understanding that they need to work in accordance with God's time. That's why we all don't get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time. So this is what I don't understand. And I think it puts women under a lot of unnecessary pressure they don't have to go through.
Well, that's why I really, I'm always sending people to you, encouraging people to come to you so that we get another kind of information. I think rather than, what I'm good at. And I remember a couple of years ago, there was a really powerful, beautiful sister in LA. She did a lot of community work. I can't even think of her name in this moment. Listen, the old gray matter. It's been around a long time. But and this beautiful, this woman was beautiful, single, beautiful, but very loving, kind, supportive, always out in the community, would never say no. And then one day we get a call, she killed herself. What? That's what I said. What are you talking about? Because we all wear masks. We mask our pain because we're so busy. I have to tell my best friend that all the time. She says, I know you're busy. And I have said to her for over 40 years, I am never too busy for you. I don't care what it is. You call me, but we're all so busy. So one of the reasons that I send people to you is because you give us a level of information that helps us understand, how is God working in me? What is God calling me to do? What is it that the creator, source, whatever you call it, is pulling me to do? So when I know my soul number, and when I know my missing numbers, and when I know what the creator is calling me to do. So like I said, this is a 9 year. This is a 9 year for me. So this a year for me to lay back on my laurels. And because I understand the power of a nine, I said, I'm not going to think about nothing until I get clear about what I really want. Because you told me I can create whatever I want. I don't want to be creating, nothing that's crippled in a wheelchair rolling.
Amen. Amen. Ashe.
So I think it's so important. That's why I'm doing the spiritual study sanctuary every Sunday morning, walking people through ancient spiritual texts. Because people think they got it. They think
Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
Google,
Yeah. That's
they got
true.
it. And I'm introducing people to, Emmett Fox, a Thomas Troward, even a Pema Chodron, people, and they don't even know who these people are. So how do you think you got everything and this things going on you don't know nothing about? This is some new level stuff we got to be in, Lloyd. Some new
No,
level.
no, I have to agree that this is something that I see, but I don't quite understand if it makes sense because it doesn't make sense. The
What,
way
the
we treat
world
each
or
other,
how
the way
people
we treat
are?
each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember recently when I was out of town, this was last year before the pandemic shut down. I get on the elevator, I said good morning to this guy, because that's how we were raised. You
Yeah.
thought I slapped his mother. Okay. It's like, okay, it's not that serious. So
Yeah.
we seem to lose that human touch for one another. And so maybe this is why we hear all these things of shootings and shooting at parties and children getting caught in a crisscross things that to us, I think when we was coming up, that was not normal.
I
That was
know.
not the norm at all. And we
If
don't
you
manufacture no guns in our communities too.
if
Okay.
you did something bad and where I grew up in the heart of Brooklyn, Crown Heights, right on the edge of Bed Do or Die, Bed-Stuy. But
Mm-hmm.
if you did something bad, it was a disgrace, not because you did it, but because you disgraced your family. You just
Yes.
you just
Yes.
didn't do that. And I always tell people when I was from Brooklyn, but they shipped us out of the city every summer. So I went from
Mm-hmm.
New York to Atlantic City, then to Philly, North Philly, then to Virginia, and then we came back the same way from Virginia to North Philly to Atlantic City, then back to school. So my whole summer was 3 weeks here, 3 weeks here, 3 weeks here, 3 weeks here, and then go back. So,
Mm-hmm.
but when I went down south, people didn't say, "What's your name?" They said, "Who your people? Oh, you
Yes.
Jimmy people.
Yes.
Oh, you
Yes.
Miss Maddie people. Y'all from up north." So I knew that anything I did or said or how I was in the world was going to be a disgrace on Uncle Jimmy. So I'm
Yeah.
not, northern relatives ain't coming down here to
And they
see.
wasn't having that either. Okay. It wasn't having none of that. Okay. Because I went through that too.
Mhm.
So those are some of the things we're missing. And it just seems like I just don't know whether the lack of this family structure now is producing what we now see out here with this younger generation, to have no sense. And I remember too, as a child growing up in Harlem in that time, that if a woman on the bus, I didn't even know, say, boy, if you don't cut that, I'm gonna tell your mama.
Yeah, that's right.
You had no problem.
That's right.
Not
But
a problem.
it's progress. But here's the piece, and I wonder about this. Um, okay. There are so many things, Lloyd, that I believe are so important for us that have been eliminated through political trial and error. Because I know you grew up doing the Pledge of Allegiance and
Yeah,
praying.
yeah, yeah,
We did
yeah,
both. We
yeah,
prayed to the flag and we prayed.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, we pledged to the flag and then
right,
we prayed.
yeah.
And my grandmother was off the reservation, so we weren't allowed to say the Pledge of Allegiance, but
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
we would stand and put our head down. She told, "Don't you ever pledge to that flag after what they've done to our people." So,
mm-hmm,
and back
mm-hmm.
then that was like heresy,
I know. It's like what?
My grandmother came up there twice and said she ain't pledging to lead, and she had her Native American ID card to the reservation, and
That's right. That's exactly right.
right back down. So I know the Pledge of Allegiance, but I've never done this because of what they did to my people. My
Mm-hmm,
grandma was
mm-hmm,
born on the reservation. So,
mm-hmm,
but I think that there are so many things that have been in the interest of technology and advancement, um, that have been just eliminated. Like, for example, everybody I knew, unless their mama was a drunk or their daddy was a drunk and nobody was guiding them. Everybody I knew went to some kind of church somewhere. Now,
Amen on that one. Amen. Yes.
granted, we were
Yeah.
spending offering money on candy and we were doing all kind of stuff in the basement, but we had some concept, dysfunctional though it be, we had some concept of a community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because church is as much about community as it is about religion, and B, some concept of God,
Mm-hmm.
some concept. I'll never forget in Roots when Kunta Kinte lifted Kizzy and said,
To the
behold,
heavens. Yes.
anything greater than yourself.
Yeah.
So many people, young people are walking around today, ain't never set foot in a church. Not that it has to be church, but it has to be some concept of
Of a church-like
greater
concept.
than yourself. A, some concept of something greater than you, and B, some concept of community. And I think those two things are missing. Everybody thinks they're the greatest thing since, room spray,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
bathroom, so that they poop don't stink. Everybody, yeah, I just don't understand it. But the creator's doing a new thing. I'm telling you, there's some new level stuff going on out here. And people, if they want to survive, they're going to have to get back to basics. I believe that.
You know what? I'm of the same opinion. Question now, when the pandemic started in the March, well, when they started shutting everything down in March of last year, 2020, I understand as a result, because I talked to a couple of women who had taken your course and whatnot, that you started something for what I thought was all women, but men were included too. So
No.
guys, please, now you're hearing for the first time now that men are not excluded. We
No.
just got to get up off our rusty dusties and kind of open up, okay, and get out of this whatever we call this machismo and join and be a part of this. And what was that you started?
Well, listen, I was in my bed minding my business, probably quilting or beading or doing something because I love being home.
Mm-hmm.
I
Me
really
too.
did.
Me too.
Me
Yeah.
and the dogs and the turtle, we love being home. And Holy Spirit said to me, go teach the people. And I was like, teach the people what? Go teach the people. And I said, teach the people what? And I just heard it again, go teach the people. So I got still, got quiet, and I got breathe because people don't know how to breathe.
No, they think they do though.
Yeah, pray, meditate, bless each other. And that's what I did. I started the daily antiviral message to work people
Really?
through the panic of not having toilet paper, of not going to work, of being
Yeah.
home with the kids, of being home with your partner for the first time in 5 years. Both of y'all are in the house at the same time. So I started the daily antiviral message. Every morning at 10 o'clock, I would get on, we would breathe together, we would meditate, I would do an inspirational reading. We would
Mm-hmm.
bless ourselves in some other part of the world. I mean, we bless garbage men and the Amazon drivers, kids, teachers,
Don't make
neighbors.
no difference. No,
Yeah,
this. Yeah. Yeah.
teaching
Make no
people the
difference.
ancient science of how to harness the hidden power within you. And so I did that consecutively for 49 days. And then Spirit said, okay, that's complete. I said, oh, but I'm having so much fun, you know.
But you know
So
what's
I
interesting? 49 adds up to 13, which is you.
yes, which
Just
is my
for you
day,
to
right?
know.
Which is
Yeah.
4,
Yes.
13, 4, which is
Yes.
foundation.
Which is 4.
So I
Exactly
said,
right.
okay, I'm not going to do it daily. I'm going to do it weekly. So since April of 2020, every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, I'm on Facebook. I used to call it the antiviral message, but we're not giving Corona that much of our energy anymore.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you.
it's called the global community connection because people come from all over the world.
I know I saw one of your programs where somebody called from Australia, somebody called from here, somebody called from here.
Dubai
I
and
said, really?
Afghanistan and
Yeah.
London, Canada,
There was no
all
boundaries.
parts of
No
Africa. Yeah,
boundaries of people
no,
reaching out
yeah.
to you.
So
Because
it's
the
the
step I
global.
saw was close the door.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm closing the door
Well, you
on.
was closing the door to a whole lot of people
Yeah.
too.
And so now it's the Global Community Connection. We're there every Saturday morning from 10 to 11, and we check in, we suit up. My spiritual warriors come. I have a whole class of spiritual warriors that come, and my Abundance Nation. Every year I do a 40-day abundance program free every day. 30 minutes. We are affirming and decreeing abundance. So I do that every January. But what the Global Community Connection has grown into is a course that I'm doing called the Spiritual Study Sanctuary. Because what I also realize is many people, not only do they not have a relationship with the God of their understanding, so many people have left church or spiritual community because of the level of, I don't know what to call it. It's the level of something. It's not filling people's soul. It's not feeding them. So in the spiritual study sanctuary, we're just studying ancient spiritual texts, and I'm teaching people spirituality from a metaphysical perspective. You know, don't
Hmm, hmm.
don't be mad at Jesus because your preacher, stole the money.
He ain't got nothing to do with that.
But that's because most people don't understand who Jesus was, because we've been taught he was the only one. No, no.
Hmm,
Jesus Christ was a demonstration of who you are.
hmm. Within
You know?
us.
Yeah, that's all. Because people think Christ was Jesus's last name. They don't understand that it was a state of mind. Christ is a state of mind, a state of consciousness. It wasn't Jesus's last name.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm enjoying being still, being quiet. Spirit is guiding me to do what I do. And if I'm obedient, somebody gets blessed. So that's a good thing.
Now I understand there you now have what, a 9-month program I think called a spiritual spa.
No, the spiritual spa is a free teaching once a month. Free is my middle name.
Yes, yes. 4 letters makes it makes it.
So that's something I do once a month. It's the personal development program that's a year long. It was 9 months, but it's a year long.
Hmm.
That's not up now. That's not coming back up until January. Because again, no one is teaching um, the things that we need to do to access the hidden power within us. No one is teaching it in a way that makes sense in the world that we live in. You know,
Hmm.
people are still freaked out about, the pandemic. And for me, it was purposeful. I don't have to know the purpose. God knows the purpose. And
Yeah,
then, well,
true.
why would God kill all of them people? And then for me, when I say things like, well, they were going to die anyway, sometime, you know,
All of us got to check out of here. It's just when, how, whatever the case is. So,
well, for me, it's not even how, because that's in the contract you sign when you come. You
I
know,
like how you put that.
we
I
have a
like how you put that. Definitely.
we have a contract in your soul, but most people don't know the distinction between spirit and soul. We think we're just kind of here haphazardly floating along until the Santa Claus God gets mad at us and plucks us up, or somebody shoots us, or what. It's in your contract. We have a contract. And I know uh,
Hmm.
with all the work that you do, that the soul that we are has been here before many, many times. So we don't know what we owe. I don't know what I owe. When somebody is acting ugly to me or something's not going right, I get still and I say, okay, what am I learning? Or am I paying a debt? What am I
Hmm.
learning? Am I
Hmm.
paying a debt? You know, I had a very profound experience maybe about 40 years ago in a process called past life regression.
Uh-huh.
It's an hypnotic process where they just take you down into the depths of your consciousness. And I was doing this past life regression, and I saw my father. Now, it didn't look like my father, but
Hmm.
I knew it was my father.
Hmm. Hmm.
And there was an exchange between us, and my father hit me and killed me.
Really?
Mhm. So when I came out of the, I don't know what you call it, the under whatever it was, it just became very clear to me that in this life, my father and I had such a difficult, challenging relationships because of the fact that our souls knew each other from another time and another space. I don't have to study reincarnation or believe in it. I know what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Father
Mm-hmm.
hit me and killed me. And I had an experience in this lifetime, in this body, where my father beat me so badly one day till the neighbors called the police.
Hmm.
So that was that soul contract acting out. So I said, okay, God, what do I need to do? And forgive. So I spent many, many years forgiving my father, just forgiving him, forgiving him, forgiving him, until I realized, that's our souls came together to work that out. And if I have to do the work, I'm willing to do it. Yeah.
Wow. Um, Now, I think when we had talked about a month ago, you said you had some new things you're going to bring to the forefront. There's a couple of things you're working on. Can you share that with us?
So that one of them is the Spiritual Study Sanctuary, which is a 9-month program.
Uh huh.
Every Sunday morning for 90 minutes for 9 months, I'm walking people through some sacred spiritual texts. Oh, it has been delicious. Right now, we're doing the 7 main aspects of God by Emmett Fox. And then we're going to move into God Works Through Silence by Robert A. Russell. We're going to look at a Pema Chodron book. We're going to look at another Emmett Fox book, Mental Equivalence. So that's a 9-month process that we're doing. And then I'm going to do another session of healing ancestral patterns down toward the holiday when people have to be in the company of the people they don't want to be in the company.
I know that's right. You
I'm going
ain't
to
never lied with that one, boy.
healing ancestral patterns and bringing forth some. I'm blessed because my mother, Sahara Elizabeth Jefferson, was first generation Dahomean born in this country. Her mother was born in Dahomey and came here. So
Yeah.
my mother was first generation Dahomean born in this country.
Mm-hmm.
My father's mother, my grandmother, is Tushlake or Cherokee, born on the reservation in South Carolina. And then they migrated up to Virginia, where she married a mixed race man. So I'm right in my bloodline. I mean, in my fingertips, I have Native American, African, European, and African American.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I have a really healthy respect and love for community, for culture. Oh, culture. What what culture are we living right now, Lloyd? What is
Well,
this?
they keep talking about cancel culture. I don't. I hear the word, but I don't know what it means. What is it supposed to mean?
I don't what culture? Because no matter where I go and what I am a descendant of Africans. I
Amen
am,
on that one. I don't
I
care where
am
I've traveled, and I've traveled.
yeah,
One thing remains the same: my point of origin, African.
yeah. And I am a Tuslake. I'm a native woman. I'm a native woman. So I have a deep connection to the earth. I have a deep connection to people because both African culture and Native American culture are communal.
Yes, they are.
A respect for elders, that. So I don't know what the culture is that we're living right now, where we don't respect elders,
Yeah.
we don't honor our children, really. We don't value them. I remember growing up, my aunt and uncle, I grew up with my aunt and uncle. Um, Anybody who was in trouble, the kids came to our house. So she'd have cousins or kids for a year, 2 years, 3 years, not because she got a check, but because you got to secure the children first.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was dysfunctional and crazy as hell, but at least they had food and a roof.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
And
was
here's the thing for me: don't
uh-huh.
these young people know that one day they will become the elders of the future?
Yeah, well, I'm the elder right now. And the good thing is, the thing about it, you can say almost anything.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and it's okay. It's okay. I get you.
But so the absence of culture, this is TV culture, Facebook culture, YouTube culture, where
Yeah.
nothing is private. People put everything out. When I grew up, there were so many things, everything was, we don't have to go back to the secret society, but
Yeah.
what's private? Who you
It's
sleeping
nothing
with?
is people want to like I don't. Who wants to know what I ate yesterday? I really like that's going to be a life and death decision for people. But people do things that I look at, and I'm saying, me. I tell people I post and I go. I post my where the moon is, whatever, and then I go. I don't look to see who like, how many subscriptions. Oh, by the way, please like, share, and subscribe. I have to remind myself.
Okay, me too. Me
My
too.
thing is this: if you really like it, be authentic about it. Don't just push to like to like. Really, if you don't like it, it's cool. I
Yeah.
understand that. Share if you think the information is really valuable to help you, your loved ones, your family members, or whatever. And subscribe if you think so. I mean, it's nice, because I don't get caught up about, oh, I've got X number of this and that. I'd rather have quality than quantity, if that makes sense.
But we grew up in a society where we're taught that people have to like you, that everybody's supposed to like you,
That's
and if
not the real
people
world, though.
don't, that something's wrong. Then you get into your codependent people pleasing. But
Yeah.
again, because there's no culture. And when I say culture, I mean ways of being, character development, art, music, a dance. I grew up learning. I danced with Pearl Primus and Alvin Ailey and Catherine Dunham and Alfred Perryman and Chuck Davis. I grew up
Yeah, right?
with African ballet and Nana Gus Dinizulu. There was community
Yeah,
culture. Baba Michael Olatunji. Where is that kind of stuff today? Where is it? It's
none.
just like African culture, Native American culture has just been wiped off the planet. If you don't know where to go and how to get it, you just don't even get it. And what we don't understand is that's a part of our soul. Our soul longs for that. And that's why we're not finding satisfaction. That's why everybody's trying to do a podcast and a this and a that to get attention when what they really want is connection. But that's just
Mhm.
me. Pay me no mind. That's
Well,
Iyanla.
what do we know?
I
We've
don't have
only been
expertise.
on the planet just a couple of days, okay?
I don't know anything because to talk like this,
We're
people think,
almost looking at you as strange or weird.
and then they come for you. That's why I don't do a lot of stuff on Facebook and YouTube. I have my channel and I do my thing. And when people step out of line, I get rid of them. I put them off. You,
Now, I
beloved,
know how you
you
roll.
are now
Trust
blocked
me. I know how you roll, Iyanla. You can't.
because I don't want that energy coming at me. I'm a grandmother and a great
And
grandmother
why? And why? Why?
listening.
Because they have nothing else to do.
Don't curse.
And I noticed that the more a person seems to be liked, the more, as a result, they begin to get hate mail or things like that. And I don't
Death
get it,
threats. Death
really.
threats. Do you know how many death threats I get?
No, excuse me. Are you
Death
serious, Iyanla?
threats. My hand to God.
I know how you do. I know you ain't lying now. I know you ain't lying.
Death threats. Or the other thing that happens is they'll go on YouTube or Facebook or someplace like that and then have a whole commentary about me. They ain't never met me, don't know me, haven't seen me, tearing me down, not understanding that as an it made in the image and the likeness of God, your words have power. So
Yes,
you're
they do.
sending negative
People have no
energy.
clue.
That's okay, because I got my spray, I got my light code. I know the ancient science.
I know you know how to protect yourself, girl.
Okay, come on with it. Send me some nastiness. I got
Here,
something.
here's a question. Now, with this program you have, is it too late for those that are just hearing about it to kind of
No,
get, they have to wait for the
absolutely not.
next?
It's 9 months. We're only 3 weeks in. If you want to join for the whole
Yeah,
9 months,
please tell them, please explain how they can join for those that are
well, you
listening.
can go to iyanla.com and look under Spiritual Study Sanctuary. If you want to join for 9 months, the full subscription, you come live every Sunday. And if either you can't afford it or you don't know if you want to do it live, you can join a la carte. That means book by book. But you
Yes,
don't get your a la carte subscription until the live session is over. So we did the 7 main aspects of God. This will be our final week, third week, and then the a la carte. So people will be able to get the replay. Now the replay,
is there an offering for that or?
oh yeah, it's a subscription-based service. So
Okay.
you
Now,
can,
where do they have to go again to subscribe and join the? Because you're only 3 weeks into the 9 months, so they got
yeah.
plenty of time to play catch up.
Iyanla.com. Spell my name right, even if you can't say it.
Yeah,
Iyanla.
good. I got it right, right?
And look under resources and you'll see Spiritual Study Sanctuary. That's a membership subscription, but Spiritual Spa is free once a month, the first Thursday. And then Global
And what
Community,
time is it? What time is it on the first Thursday of every month?
8 o'clock, 8
Eastern
o'clock,
Standard Time for
Eastern
people.
Standard
Because don't
Time.
forget you all over the world, so
No,
people
I know.
understand it.
So Eastern Standard, and then Global Community Connection is Facebook Live every Saturday morning. That's also free. So there's something for every price point because I know people are getting themselves together.
So that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Iyanla Vanzant.
Facebook is Dr. Iyanla Vanzant
Thank you.
because
I will
there
make sure we get
people
that straight.
there's about 12 sites out there, Iyanla Vanzant, that don't have nothing to do with me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So my official site is Dr. Iyanla Vanzant.
I
Yeah.
am so glad we made that clear. So y'all heard it. So it's Dr. Dr. Iyanla Vanzant. So you got some imitators out there, huh?
Well, bless their hearts. I consider it a compliment. The thing is that we also had some rascals that were doing things
Uh,
like raising money and collecting money for Haiti. And so I don't, if you're not coming to if anytime you give me money, you're going to get something in return. I'm not
mhm.
asking you to donate. The one time I did was to send this young lady to Spelman because her mom and dad both lost their jobs during the pandemic. And what she did was she gathered up all of her allowance and her friends, and she put together care packages for teenagers who were in upset during the pandemic. And
Mhm.
she distributed them throughout her school and her church. So when it came time, she was a 3.8 GPA. When it came time for her to go to college, her parents, they couldn't do it. And so I asked people to send Sydney to Spelman, and I put up a GoFundMe page for her. But other than that, I don't ask people for money. But the rascals was sending out emails and asking people to donate. And of course, they're
All
going,
in your name.
yeah, yeah.
That's
But you know what?
amazing.
That's bad karma. I'm not worried about that. I
Yes.
don't pay
Thank
for that.
you.
They will be held accountable.
Well, see, you can tell we old school because what goes around comes around. You know how
Yeah,
that works,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
people don't think they're getting away with something because I know there's a good friend of mine in California, and somebody he's very successful at what he does, and I've been getting things in his name. And one day I just placed a call. In fact, it was a couple of days ago. Is this you? He said no,
Yeah.
but they were
It's
asking for money. They were asking for get me on trading on currency or cryptocurrency, all this other stuff.
well,
So
you
I'm
know what? Somebody opened a credit card in my name because when you call and you say you Iyanla Vanzant, people like freak out. Okay. Opened a credit card in my name and ran up a bill for $600,000.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But God protects fools and babies. So what
Yeah,
happened was they were charging something, and the company called me and said, "Is this you? And is this your account? And did you do this?" And I said, I don't have an account with you at all. I don't
yeah,
have an account with you.
yeah, yeah.
So it didn't create any problem for me. And you know what? I could have let it upset me and reacted and been crazy about it. But you know what? That ain't on me. That's on them. So God will handle that. He who abides in the shadow of the Almighty, that would be me.
You know, you would never ever thought that you would have gotten all those changes because all you've ever shown, and we've been knowing each other what about at least a good 20 years or more.
Oh, it's
Okay,
been more than 20 years,
I'm
Lord.
just trying to be
We're
polite
talking
about
WBLS,
it.
okay?
Thank you. That's the 80s.
It's
Okay,
been at least 35, almost 40 years.
did we known each other, darling?
Mhm.
And it shows you how you got to be nice to people. See?
Well, you just got to connect. You got to
Yeah,
connect.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
are the people out there thinking? Y'all ain't got no questions for me and Lloyd. Somebody need to know where they at.
I have a feeling that people are very engrossed in all the wisdom you are sharing. That's what I suspect. And you know what's interesting in the course of this conversation, I haven't even gone to chat not one time. Not one time, because I'm mesmerized myself. I'm sitting here learning too.
But
Okay.
you know what, Lloyd? I want to thank you, first of all, and acknowledge you because I remember when you started. I remember when Numbers and You came out. What was that? 80 something, right?
81.
81. That's how long I've known you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember when it came out. And this thing that you do, it's an ancient science.
An ancient African science, darling.
That's right.
Let's
I
be
was going to
clear.
go there.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
But but the messages are universal. And I've watched you, you've done a number of consultations for me. And I've watched how you've really embodied and mastered this science. This science. It's a science.
Yes,
People
it
think
is.
it's voodoo, bad, whatever. It's a science. Numbers have always existed.
And
And
will always exist.
yeah, and so everything is today. Jeff Bezos and William Shatner went to space for 6 minutes.
Hmm.
Did you know that?
No, no.
Bezos built this spaceship and they invited William Shatner, and the whole thing took six minutes from takeoff to landing. But what people don't understand, they're so worried about, offending Jesus or God with the ancient sciences, is that the reason they were able to take that spaceship built by a man and take it beyond the Earth's atmosphere and bring it back down was because of numbers.
Yes.
All of those things are mathematical calculations for the weight and the size and the time and the depth and all of that. So for people to say, okay, based on when I was born, based on the nature of my name, because people don't know your name is your name is your nature.
Exactly.
Based on the nature and the frequency of my name, what am I to do? Where am I to be? What are my gifts? What are my challenges? How am I to be in the world? And I've watched you master that. Thank you, Gay. I see Gay posting about Saturday. That's my community secretary. Okay.
Oh, and I gotta thank Zakia. Zakia is so
Yes,
on
the
point.
key is.
That's that's you have a nice team of people in your corner. I
Well,
mean,
they
it's just
reflect me.
beautiful.
They reflect me.
Yeah,
So
they are
I just
definitely
say to people, I'm gonna say it two ways. I'm gonna say it the nice way, and then I'm gonna say it
Iyanla's way.
Iyanla's way. The nice way would be open and willing to step out of your comfort zone and explore some things that maybe you've been taught or told or led to believe were bad and wrong. And the other thing is, so that's the nice way. The Iyanla way would be willing to go to hell. Because some of us are so scared to go to hell till we ain't no heavenly good. Trust me. We ain't no earthly good because we're in hell. You know what? Let me tell you what hell is. Let me tell you what hell is. Hell is constipation. That's hell right
Oh yeah,
there.
no question, no question, no question.
Okay. Hell is not knowing when your kids are, if they coming home. That's hell.
And
Hell
that's
is
all on earth.
okay, right. But we're so busy running from this hell that we've been taught with the fire and the brimstone. We're so busy running from that till we're no earthly good. Be willing to explore. So I never forget one Saturday, and anybody on here can tell you this is true. I was on the Global Community Connection teaching people how to create a sacred space and told them about a candle, water, maybe burn some sage. My family on the reservation, they make beautiful products, native botanicals. Go see about that. So if you can't burn sage or sweetgrass, they put it in a spray. These
Yeah.
are Native Americans using their culture and tradition, so you can do it. So I was telling people how to create a sacred space where they could pray, where they could meditate, where they could sit. To me, it makes perfectly good sense. And it's what church is. Okay. Church is a sacred space. You can do it in your home. So somebody said in the thread, that's witchcraft.
Seriously?
Yeah. And that I should be ashamed of myself leading people to hell, teaching them witchcraft.
Really?
So,
Where would they get an idea like that from?
that ain't for me to know. I said, you know what?
I feel you.
Can you tell me a book that I can read on witchcraft? Because obviously you know more about it than I do. because I had no idea that what I was doing with witchcraft. I thought it
Now the
was
burning of
using
sage
natural
is so
elements,
ancient.
elements to create a sacred space. So would you recommend a book I should read? Because I need to know what witchcraft is, because obviously you know about it and I don't.
Well, you know what's interesting? When I referred to the Bible as a numerology book,
Oh my
some
God.
people go bonkers.
Yeah.
And I explained, name me a verse, Psalms 23, chapter 2 through 12. You got to use numbers in order to find the specific message you
First
have here.
Corinthians 14:5.
Thank
Okay.
you. And then the Old Testament, the fourth book of Moses, is called the Book of Numbers.
Yeah, that's right. That's
So, I mean, and I tell them, name me a war fought in the name, in the sign of Virgo. They can't name me a war since man has walked the earth. Name me a war fought in the name of the number 4. They cannot name me one. But yet I've had a relative that do like this. When they see it, they say, you know what I'm saying? It's not that serious. It's a science, not a belief.
yeah. Well, we don't, but nobody's taught us that, Lloyd. Nobody's taught us um, the ancient sciences, be it numerology or herbology, aromatherapy. These are all ancient sciences that the settling cultures, I don't want to say the dominant societies, but
Yeah,
the settling societies took and turned into industry, because there's any pharmaceutical that you take for anything wrong with your body is either a synthetic version of or made from the compounds that exist in a natural existing plant. I don't
yeah,
care what it is.
yeah,
What
yeah.
you do for chemo, for diabetes, for hypertension, all of it is either a synthetic version of a
Of a
natural
naturally
element.
based ingredient.
People don't understand that. So let me go right to the herb. I don't need to go to the synthetics.
Well, that's what our elders did in the South and in the Caribbean.
My grandmother was a master herbalist, master. She could walk out in a field or anywhere. I never forget, my Aunt Maddie had a stroke and she was in the hospital. We in Smithfield, Virginia. There was a black hospital and a white hospital. When we took her to the white hospital, they wouldn't let her in. This is in the 50s in the South, okay?
Wow.
And so we had to drive the extra whatever time it was to the black hospital, which of course was understaffed and had less resources. So my grandmother went home. We went back to my Uncle Jimmy's house, and my grandmother took all of my Aunt Maddie's clothes out of her drawers, her closets, and everything, and put them in the wash bin. Went out in the field. I didn't know what she was doing. I was a child. And she picked all of these herbs. I don't know what these herbs were. And she made like the concoction, where you
Hmm.
reduce the herbs down to fluid with water. And then she washed all of Aunt Maddie's clothes in these herbs, praying, singing, washing Aunt Maddie's clothes in these herbs, praying. And said, my Aunt Maddie was home in 3 days and then have no remnants or sight of stroke. I said, I don't know what herbs she was using, but I wonder if some men knew what herbs to use. Would they take it for ED? Huh. And
But you
some
know
women
what's also interesting? When I was a child and I visited my grandmother, I lived in the South with my grandmother for about maybe 2, 3 years. And me and my cousin got some ringworms at that time in the
oh
hair.
yeah. Did she put
My
pee on
grandmother went into the woods, okay?
it?
And whatever she did, she put in our hair and it was
Gone.
gone.
The first
Gone.
morning urine. The first morning urine is what you put on the ringworm.
Get
And
out of here.
also, yeah, also alfalfa, hyssop. Yeah. Yeah, you put some St. John's leaves on there. I know how to do that.
Well, I'm not going to keep you much longer because I was almost up. And let me tell you, I've got over 120 comments wanting. And so you're going to have to forgive me because I rarely get a chance to spend this much time with a lady that I've known. I didn't know I've known you that long. I thought it was about maybe 20 days.
81, 91, 2001, 2021. So that's 30 years, 30 years.
Yeah, yeah. But it shows you how when you build quality relationships,
Yeah,
that whether it's then or now or in the future.
yeah.
And so, and you know what? And it don't cost nothing to be nice to people. It don't
No.
cost a penny. You ain't got to reach in your pocket and pull out a coin, much less a dollar bill, to
No.
treat people with respect. and
Yeah,
love and kindness and consideration. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
absolutely. So
So go
it's
ahead,
all good.
please.
It's all good. I'm sorry we didn't interact more with the people. I don't know if they have a
Well, I plan to have you back. See, I'm
okay.
scheming right now. I'm scheming on another show. Okay, I'm scheming. So I'm going to deal with the people. But for everybody, for those, forgive me because I didn't go to them because I wanted everybody to absorb the message and the lessons, especially for the men, but especially for the women who are acting like men, as you said. I did not have but I knew something was happening with the sisters. That much I knew.
We haven't been taught. We haven't. Who teaches? Well, men haven't been taught either. But because we are the bringers and the givers of life, when we're out of sorts, when mama's upset, the food don't taste right, the house is dirty, the cat is hiding, So when mama ain't right, ain't nothing right,
Ain't nothing right.
So a
That's so
happy
true.
wife is a happy life. So we just haven't been taught. And, there's so many things competing for our attention right now. Many of us are just not open to something as simple as shut your mouth. The people ain't open to that.
That sounds so incredibly simple, though, Iyanla. That sounds so simple. I don't know why people don't get it. But let me ask, so to make sure, I want to make sure that everybody gets to understand before you go, they can still join the spiritual spa, right?
Spiritual Study Sanctuary. Every
Hmm.
Sunday morning, I do a class for the East Coast, which is 7:30 to 9. I do a class for the West Coast, which is 7:30 to 9 on the West Coast, but it's 10:30 to noon here. So you can join either session. Spiritual Study Sanctuary at iyanla.com. The Spiritual Spa is something I do once a month, the first Thursday of a month. You can sign up at iyanla.com. That's free, and we just walk through lessons. Like we did boundaries. This month we did obstacles to opportunities. We've done vision, we've done choice, we've done commitment. And I give a worksheet so that you have something to work on through the month, because me talking don't mean nothing if you don't do the work and apply it to your life. You've got to do the work. And most people didn't know
You
what the
know
work.
what? I say the same thing. If you do the work,
Yeah.
one time I was in a show, I was at a radio station in Texas, and the guy says, he called up, when is my ship coming in? And I can be a little sarcastic at times, if you catch me the wrong way. And I said, did you send a ship out there?
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
send a ship out there. How
Yeah.
you expect something to come back? So you got to do the work. And I
Yeah.
think people now have this.
They don't know what it is, Lloyd. Most people don't know what the work is. So at the Spiritual Spa, I offer, it's not required, something called an immersion sheet. So if I teach
Mm,
something this month, I give you an exercise to do every day until we come back together, so that you can immerse yourself into this thing. And I tell people, you're not paying me. You can't pay me for what I give. There's no amount
it's
of money in
priceless.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I charge you is what I call your toll. This is the toll you pay to get from where you are to where you want to be. Because the other thing is, people seem to think that we're supposed to give away everything for free and they don't have to pay for nothing.
Oh, I
I have
was
to
told
pay.
that too. Lord,
I
you
have
so
to
good
pay
at
my
this. Why
staff.
don't you do this for free? And
Yeah,
I'm
but I
saying,
have to
well,
pay my staff.
how do I explain about paying bills in this world that I'm presently living in? So people kind of don't understand it. Before we go, because there's so much to you. First of all, you've authored a number of books. You've done a number
19,
of tapes.
19.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You did a number of books, so that's why I have to have you back. I'm going to give you some time to breathe.
Okay.
I gotta have you back so people can see the other side. And I promise this time I'll open it up. I mean, there's over 100 and some odd comments waiting.
Okay.
So I don't know how we're going to handle that. For them, I do apologize, but this was worth having your undivided attention. And I hope everybody who is listening to this has really absorbed what you had to say. And don't take it personal, but be open to grow, to evolve.
Well, let's summarize for them. Let's
Yes,
summarize for
please
them
do.
so
Please
that
do. Yeah,
they
please.
have a real. First of all, what I want you all to know is that what Lloyd offers is insight into an ancient science. that's based on universal law and principle and the frequency of the universe. It's not bad. It's not for everybody. So if you don't want to know where you're vibrating at and what your frequency is, don't make an appointment, but don't condemn it because you don't understand it. That's number one. Number two, so many of us haven't been taught and trained how to really tap into the hidden power that's inside of us. And in order to do that right now, we've got to be willing to step out of this matrix that we're in of everything is outside. And we have to go from within to without, as opposed to trying to get something out that's going to make us feel better within. What else did we talk about? We talked about the importance of community and the
Yeah.
importance of culture, uh,
Yes.
and how when we don't have that, we're just kind of lost. We talked about the importance of women learning how to go into the silence and draw forth as opposed to going out and putting in. We talked about the importance of men
Thank
learning
you.
how
Thank
to
you.
be, yeah,
Yeah.
how to be vulnerable, how to be present in their heart and in their feelings, and that it is not a sign of weakness at
Not at
all.
all.
And
Not at all.
women have to be more willing to give men space and room to be in their hearts, and don't beat them up about it and don't criticize them. Just shut up and listen. Just listen. Sometimes we just need to listen. Zakia wrote a wonderful book called, oh God, what is it? What's your book, Zakia? Put it in the thing, where she talks about the things that we as women do that turn men off. I can't, forgive me.
That is
Listen,
so interesting.
dementia is real. It ain't real for me, but it is real.
I'm having a conversation with Zakia tomorrow. We already got that straight. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
It's what's real, what's not, and somewhere in between. What's real, what's not, and somewhere in between. Thank you, God. You see how God just dropped that right in my brain? So,
Amen.
Zakia Cornwell, really wonderful resource for women because she's taken some of the things that we do and we think it's common, which really destroys our relationships and diminishes our men. So, we talked about that. We talked about the spiritual study sanctuary, studying ancient spiritual texts. And we talked about how much we love each other and
And
how long
should
we,
love each other.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
isn't all that expensive to do that at all. Just open your heart and open your mind,
yeah,
and love will come through the door. Now,
yes.
in February, I want to have, it's Black History Month, but relationships seem to be very important. So I'd like to invite you back around February. So we
Okay,
talk about relationships and the
okay.
books and all the other things and how things have progressed since then.
Well, I'm getting ready to revitalize my I used to do a weekly message called the R Spot, which was all
Uh-huh.
about relationships, and I'm going to turn it into a podcast. So I'm getting ready to start that up. But I'll come back
Good.
to with you anytime. You know that.
Good, good. And in fact, although I'm about to sign off, hold on a second. There's something I want to share with you.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So I want to thank you so much. And to Iyanla Vanzant. Oh, by the way, let me just put up this information. Take a screenshot, take your camera. It's Reverend Dr. Iyanla Vanzant, life coach, teacher, author, lecturer, motivator. She does it all. And if people knew your life that led up to this point, they would easily understand why you do the work you do, because you
Yeah,
definitely do the work. Okay.
yeah.
And so please get in touch with her as you see there, the contact. And when they say customer at iyanla.com, what does that mean? Somebody who want to send you something or respond to you?
No, that's like if they're already a student or they need information about the classes or the courses, they do customer and because they're sending it to Iyanla that they're sending it everywhere, any way they think I am. But if you want information about the classes
They go
or,
directly to this
right
email
to
link there.
let me not how did I not tell you about masterpiece body therapy? Oh my God, I'll tell you next time.
No, no, can you take 2 minutes and just kind of
I
critique it?
did, because we
Please.
were talking about the ancient sciences, numerology, herbalism, um, and aromatherapy. And I have a line of body products called Masterpiece Body Therapy that it's made with African black soap, herbs, and oils so that you clear your energy as you clean your body. So,
Well, listen, if you don't mind, maybe, with your permission, maybe I can have you back in December since it's the holidays and people want to spend all this money. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear. And so they can spend some money with Sister Iyanla, especially for these things. I think that's Iyanla. That's great. So I won't keep you long on the next time, but I want to make sure, definitely without question, that people find. And so you got this line of body wash. Anything else did you want to offer?
No, it's all sorts of things. Go to Masterpiece, Peace, bodytherapy.com. Wait a minute, Lloyd, I got to read this. Jennifer Kirkland said, my baby was a micro preemie, and they told me to terminate her. And Lloyd read her numbers. And she's got a picture of that baby up there.
And and I am her godfather.
Yes.
Cutest thing. See?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
A
and she
micro
just
preemie.
turned
So you
2 years
one pound.
old on the 9th of October.
How old?
She turned 2 years old.
And she was what, 1 pound?
No, she was less than 1 pound. She was literally ounces. And they suggested that, well, maybe she's going to be blind, she's going to be deaf. She turned out to be none of those. In fact, they told her maybe you need to leave her here and just go forward with another life. And the spirit in her and
Yeah.
the spirit in her father says that's not what's going to happen.
And you read her numbers
Oh yeah,
before she even got here.
yeah, yeah. So
Somebody just give God a hand clap right now. The angels are there right now. Look at that right there.
so we are going to have you back in December when people spending all that money. We're going to spend all that money with Sister Iyanla too.
Okay,
Okay.
I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
we want to
I
show the
appreciate
sisters some
that.
love up in here. That's how we're gonna roll
Okay.
with this.
All right. Well,
Okay.
deep bow to my warriors, to my abundance nation, to the Fix It community, and to my spiritual study students. Deep bow to you. Deep bow to you, Lloyd. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue mastering this art, this science, and continue to bless the world. And you know, anybody that I know, and when they act a little crazy, I say, you need to call Lloyd because you are.
Well, I tell you this, you know how to give a man love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lloyd.
So Yana, just hold on a second. I need
I
to
will.
briefly sign off and I'll be right
Okay.
with you. So
Okay.
everybody, I tell you, I know that many of you wanted to get in. I promise you in December, y'all get in so you can order some products from the sister. That's what I want y'all to do. Okay. And so to her, thank you. And I will see you Monday. Monday, my guest will be Kaya French from Detroit. I'm going to be there in that city on that Saturday, the 23rd. And then that Wednesday, a week from today, I'm going to have my good buddy, Brandon Smith, talking about namaste to numbers and how it relates to him in the Bible. And he's come from 3 generations of ministers. So that's going to be an interesting experience. And to Iyanla, God bless you, honey. Much love to you. And to everybody else, please take good care of yourselves. Have a great weekend and talk to you later. Bye.